Good morning, FlossTube. It's Cowgirl Kate here with the October update of how things really went for the whole month of October. First off, it was dark October, and for my version of that, I wanted to do 13 new starts because we had a 13 for Halloween thing going on, and that was because we had a Friday the 13th in the same month, and so the idea of that was to start or work on 13 Halloween themed projects starting on Friday the 13th and then up until Halloween. I had mixed results with that. We'll get more on that in a moment. There's a little bit of haul, not a whole lot though. And also how wonderful the retreat was that I was fortunate enough to have attended. So I guess we'll start with that. This retreat was held at the Stitchery Nook in Osage, Iowa. And oh my goodness, Iowa hides a lot of gems. Okay, so if you are ever fortunate enough to go to the Stitchery Nook, oh my goodness. I have never been in a store that is so all-inclusive. I mean, except for the Delica beads, you could probably kit a chatelaine there. Maybe not all of the Swarovski crystals, but you could, as far as your fibers and stuff, you could get everything there. And I have never been in a place ever that has had the capabilities of that before. So that was, you know, I did a short video of it. I posted it in Stitch Mania, I think, but that was it was the Halloween weekend, or the weekend right before Halloween was the time that I attended there, and so the video for that would have been up like the Monday or so after. Wonderful, wonderful store. The owners are Liz and Sherry. Wonderful people. They know their stuff. If they can't have it in the store, they will track it down, find a way to get it to you. So check them out on Facebook. They have a page there. It's called the Stitchery Nook, and I'll try to find a link to their information and post it below. If not, it's very easy to search them on Facebook, just the Stitchery Nook. Now, as if this wonderful store wasn't enough, and the people running it weren't wonderful enough, the entire top floor of the store, and it's a huge store by the way, they do needlework, scrapbooking, and framing. So anything you need in those three categories, they got you covered. But the top level of the store is a retreat center, and oh my goodness, there are two huge rooms up there that are like the main retreat areas. One side they say is more for the scrapbookers because there's a lot more tables. There's 4 big screen TVs in there, so you know, people bring their movies or you know, whatever. But Liz and Sherry said that the quilters and the scrappers like to use that room most because of all the tables and the space in it. And oh my goodness, there's that main room, and then it has like a little mini fridge and like some counters in there, I guess for, you know, whatever snacks, and then also some tables, and then a full bathroom. The other side, the other main area, is just like you were walking into a house, only a lot bigger. It's got a fireplace, a great big large flat screen TV up on the wall. What all else? Let's see. At least 3 couches, 3 big long couches. And then that's just like the homey kind of area. And then over on the one side there's a full kitchen. So, you know, people bring their stuff, they can, you know, use the kitchen. It's got everything you could possibly imagine. There's a grocery store and a deli just right behind the store, so I mean, you know, that's kind of what a lot of people do, is they just run over and they get stuff and then they, you know, make a deal. It's great. And then full kitchen there, and then also a full bathroom. And then like right by the stairs there's kind of like a big dining table with chairs all around, so you know you have an area for your meals. But then the rest of this giant huge room is all card tables. And we set up like 8 of them, and they're like not card tables, but the great big long plastic, like a picnic table that, you know, people have for graduations and stuff. Well, we lined up 4 of those end to end and then 2 wide. So we had 8 of these tables going down the center of the room, and each person who wanted to sit at a table had the whole table to themselves. And then there was several people that like to stitch in recliners or on the sofas, you know, just kind of wherever people felt comfortable. That's where, you know, they made a spot for them. So, okay, so there's your main area. Then if you keep walking, you go down this big hallway, and then there's 3 large rooms in the back. And each room had 5 single beds, and then a full bathroom, like, you know, tub, shower, you know, everything. So there were 3 rooms like that, and then I think in the last room there was like a double bed. So these ladies have retreats there all year round. It's just whoever wants to rent the space or whatever for their retreat or family reunion or bachelorette parties, whatever. You know, it's just whatever you want to do. She said the farthest away people that have attended are from Missouri. So, I mean, you know, word is getting out, and they've already have bookings in 2019. So that's how popular the retreats are getting, because, you know, it's just like, wow, everybody wants to get together, and I can totally see why now, having attended one. The reason I was there, I was invited to come check this out, and the rest is history. I made so many friends. The girls that were there were just wonderful, incredible people, and it's just funny how stitchers find each other. It's almost like we have a radar for it, and you know, it's once you meet them, you can't give them up. They're just, you know, so wonderful. So that was kind of how my weekend went. I had to leave the retreat early because we had a family function going on, so I only got to spend a couple of days, but oh my goodness. I'm hoping that next time, because they've invited me back, I'm hoping that next time I will be able to stay for the whole event, because, oh, I felt so homesick for them. You know, even now I think about it, it's like, oh, I miss them, or what would so-and-so say, or so-and-so would really get a kick out of this, you know, that sort of thing. So if you ever get a chance to go to a retreat, or if you ever get a chance to find yourself in Osage, Iowa, check out the Stitchery Nook, and yeah, jump on it. I mean, if you're fortunate enough to get yourself to a retreat, you will not regret it. It is, oh, it's amazing. You make memories for a lifetime, truly. So that was my retreat report. And haul, I didn't get very much haul at the retreat itself. I bought a few threads and then a set of scroll bars that I needed for my linen projects, because I'm not too crazy about the homemade set that I have, just because the sides are so gappy. And it's not just because, you know, they're a homemade thing. I just find this with most any scroll bars that I've found, and I've only ever used the kind from Walmart. You know, it comes in a little square packaging and you put it all together, and it's very basic. And then the homemade ones I've done are just basically the same split rod idea, but with dowels that were a lot longer. So I'm hoping that these other ones will kind of take care of the tension, because a lot of the ladies at the retreat use those all the time. So here's hoping that I'll be able to take care of that with this set. The only thing that's kind of different about it is it's not a split rod, so I'm going to have to baste the project to the rods itself, and so I'm probably going to have to figure a way to get some fabric sewn to the project and then use that into the, yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's how I'll have to do it, just to kind of protect the linen that it's on, so it, you know, doesn't get stretched or whatever before it needs to go in a frame anyway. And knowing me, that'll probably be a long time, just because I'm not very good about framing things. So 13 for Halloween. That, as I said, was mixed results. I had hoped to start my Brunhilde design that is waiting to be released. However, the fabric that I'm needing for it is not here yet, so I'm just being really patient, because I know it'll be worth it when it comes. So that one has not been started. There were a couple more that weren't started, and that was just simply because I ran out of time in between everything else that was going on. So all in all, it was a really fun, you know, idea, and really fun to, you know, make that rush. And the main point of it was that, you know, I enjoyed every second, even if I didn't accomplish all 13 new starts or whatever to get worked on. There were a couple other smaller ones that I didn't get started, so, but we'll go over the ones that made the cut, you could say. So the first one up is Jacks Are Wild, and that is by Waxing Moon's Designs, right here. And another thing about the retreat that I attended, the designer for Waxing Moon was coming to have pizza with everyone on Saturday night. Unfortunately, I had to leave early Saturday morning to attend the family function, so I didn't get to meet her, but oh, that would have been so cool, because she's apparently a very local person there, and you know, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, you kind of fangirl to meet them, and I didn't get to this time. But maybe one of these times I'll run into her when she happens to be in the store. You never know. And what I got started on that so far was only just a little bit. There you go. But it counts, right? It counts. And besides, those pumpkins are so fun, and it looks like it'll stitch up really easily and very quickly. So I'm not too concerned. It was a fun one anyway. And it can wait its turn for the next time. The other one, other ones I should say, this one was one that was already a work in progress. And I really liked Abby's idea of where she just wants to stitch the cat and the punk and the witch, you know, holding their pumpkins and marching. That's such a cute idea. I will probably do that in future, just for kind of a little doodad to hang around. But here is the progress that I have on this. And for this round, I was working on the witch here. So she's got her hat in her hand, and yeah, it's a very fun project. I like to work on this one just because it's so simplistic and very little color changes. So I'm finding that these smaller ones are indeed a lot of fun and a lot easier to take around in my travels. So next up, we have Potions, Brews, and Spells. And that is what this one looks like. And I took this one to the retreat to find out what count my fabric was. And thank you also to the lady who sent me a private message on how to do that. I appreciate you. Thank you. This is all that I got started. And it turns out, oh, and this fabric was from Ninny. So thank you, Ninny. She did it as a little gift of kindness, but it's a big deal to me. The fabric is a 32 count linen. I had the experts at the store determine that for me. But it's just a teensy bit too short to fit the entire project. So, originally I was just going to do Potions, Brews, and Spells, and Halloween, and Beware All Ye Who Enter. I just was going to skip out the alphabet part. But, another wonderful lady gave me the idea that the three things would be nice separated, because she did, I think, this one as an ornament. So I may do that if worse comes to worse and they don't all fit. You know, at least with doing an ornament, you can kind of cheat with how you space things and so forth. So if that'll work, that's what I will do. It just remains to be seen, but now that Halloween's over, I'm not going to worry too much about these projects going on. I'll just keep them as kind of my travel ones. The culmination of everything, I saved this one for working on Halloween Day. Candy Corn of Mischief. And there was a lady working on this one at the retreat. She started it on Friday, and by that night she had most of the pumpkins done. So I mean, she was just cruising through it. But it's, yeah, it's such a cute, fun project. I only had a few minutes on Halloween itself, and this is all the farther I got, so yeah, mine's kind of wimpy in comparison to how fast she burned through it. But very fun, very cute project, and it came with everything, so there wasn't even that I had to, see, it came with everything. It wasn't even that I had to run around looking for threads or anything, so it was quick to just grab it and go. Let's see what else here. At the retreat, I worked on several projects, but this one was the main focus. And it is this one. Oh, sorry for the glare. There we go. And I've changed the colors. And when I took it to the retreat, it only had the word something finished. And this is how far I've gotten. And Liz, who stitched the model for the store there, told me that the boot goes on forever. And she's right, it does. But that is as far as I've gotten for this one. And then, because I have this bad habit of never leaving a pattern alone, changing the colors wasn't all that I wanted to do for it. I was looking at it more, and it has little spiders. Let me get it up here close. It has little spiders sprinkled all throughout the pattern. And they are just 4 little stitches together and then a bunch of back stitch for the legs. But it just bugged me that it wasn't spiderish enough, if that's a word. So what I did was I went downstairs, and that was such a cool thing about having the retreat above a store was anytime somebody wanted something, they just ran downstairs and put it on their tab. They had a tab for the whole weekend. I mean, oh my goodness. It was so hard to behave, but I did. But I went into the scrapbooking department because I couldn't find buttons or charms, and I got these brads. And let's see if I can get it in there so that it's looking at them properly. There. They're little spiders. Okay. How I'm going to do with these is at the very end. They'll be the last thing that goes on the project and right before I frame it. And what I will do is I will cut a piece of felt that's like the same size as the fabric itself, and I'll weave the little points of the brad in between the linen threads because it's on a linen. I'll weave it in between there, punch it through the felt, and then spread them open so that it's not going to snag on the linen in the front, and so it'll be kind of sandwiched, kind of a layer of felt to protect it. So I'm thinking that's what I'll do for that, and they'll be a lot of fun just because they look so spidery instead of, you know, just 4 little stitches. Not that the stitches aren't cute, I just wanted something a little more dramatic, I guess. So that was that one. This one, this was the one that I got threads for at the retreat. I got all the recommended ones except the black, and for that I'm going to share, oh, what black was it? No, I can't remember, I have to look at my notes. But I got a skein of water lilies, and it's the same water lilies that has the orange fabric, this one. So it has Dark Shadows is the name of it. Water Lilies 175. So they can share. And then for, let's see, for Something Wicked, the colors that I changed it to, since I'm talking about them, anyway, the boot is done in 315 coal. Let me get it here. Coal. And then the green is Frog Legs. There we go, Frog Legs. And I'm gonna steal another darker green because she has striped socks. And then the purple for the lettering is Rainy Day. So very fun, switch it up. And then while I was at the retreat, I decided to do the word wicked in green, and you know, I've never seen the play, but I would like to. I just think it's very, it just looks like fun, so I want to see it. But anyway, back to this one. I did not get a whole lot started on it. Just 3 little berries. And the fabric is a 28 count Monaco that I have tea dyed and coffee dyed. So it's kind of a fun little project. What else do we got going on here? This one. This one was also a focus piece, but more for traveling because we've spent a lot of time doing appointments and stuff and dealing with that. But it was this one, and I've done it in colors that I've had, just because I just did. And I've changed some things up. I'm doing the witch in a black. I think one of the blacks that comes, I think, I'd have to look, but it's one of those 2 black water lilies. But the witch is done at that. I'm going to do the cats in that same water lilies, and then everything else is what you see. I won't be doing the banner at the top. And what else was I going to change? I'm not sure if I'm going to include the acorn. So with those changes in mind, I've kind of had to scoot things a little closer together, just so they, you know, don't look so much negative space in between everything. But I think it'll work. And then I might take the black and just do a border, just a simple border around the whole thing. We'll see. Last on the, or I shouldn't say last, there's a few more here yet, was this one. and it is the Halloween sampler. There we go, Halloween sampler. And I got this far on it. Works up very, very quickly. I mean, these little projects, I can see why people get so addicted to them, because you just zoom right through them. But in spite of that, I really didn't get a whole lot done on any of them, really. I mean, in comparison to how fast a lot of people are. So, especially Lori at the retreat, she was just burning through them. Another project that I was working on during the retreat, and I wound up putting it away because it was just too much fun going on, too much distractions, and I had to frog some of it. So I was like, okay, let's get a simple one out and, you know, go from there, which is why the Something Wicked got so much attention. But I worked on sewing and did some of the golds in the border, like some down here, all this over here, a little bit down here, just working on the gold braid. Needle minders from the lovely Denkai. Go check out her channel, because she sells them. Y'all need them. So that's her. And then the last but not least was the Annabelle Lee conversion. And here she is. And she got a little bit more done on her red, and then a little more done on the black down at the bottom of the dress. She didn't see a whole lot of progress, but that's okay. We just put her away for another day to, you know, show some love. She'll get over it. So that is, I guess, my October report. So a lot of mayhem going on there, but oh my goodness, so much fun. And for the little bit of haul, and that was like throughout the whole month of October, just not, you know, not one weekend or whatever. There was this one, which is very cool, and I thought that would look really nice with Annabelle Lee. So yeah, I mean, they kind of go together. There was that one. Double Double. It was so funny. I was waiting for this one to come. I had ordered it a while ago, and I was waiting for it to come, and Anne Marie and I were going to start it at the same time, but she got hers going and finished it up in like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, oh my god, mine hasn't even come yet. So I still did not get this one started, but I will. I just need to set aside some time to cut some fabric down and, you know, hem the edges and stuff. But I ain't got that far. These two came. This one. I have fabric for this one. I'm doing it on Sandcastle. And then the companion to it, this one I might start in November just because it's pumpkins and it's got a horse, and yeah, he's really stepping out there. Even though he's kind of sway-backed. I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of a sway-backed horse, but that's what makes him so fun, because, you know, he looks cocky and feeling frisky. This one I plan to stitch up for my sister, and it's okay, she doesn't watch my channel anyway, but Jane Eyre and Charlotte Bronte, her favorite authors, or her favorite story, so by rule then it would be her favorite author. So that needs to be done for her. And then this one I have been wanting for so long, and I finally found it on ABC Stitch. So that had to come home with me. Because if I were a witch and I had an owl, I'd give it a kiss too. Because, you know, that's just what you should do. So, that was my little bit of haul. And then threads for the wicked plant. Nothing too glamorous there, but enough to keep me happy anyway. And now November plans. November is going to be a crazy month. There's a lot of appointments, so I'm going to be on the road, bussing people around, so yeah. So that needs to be taken care of. However, with all that time going to the cities, it should rather pan out to take some projects along and get some progress done on them. So I'll probably be keeping some of these smaller Halloween ones in a bag just so, you know, something gets done, and, you know, they're pretty easy to travel with. So, you know, who knows what it'll be. I'll sort that out later on today, because it's going to begin soon and it's going to be crazy. Also, what has been going on in November, the chatelaines are starting to call. They're really loud. You know how it is. You can only ignore stuff for so long. Let me dig one out here. The one I worked on for yesterday. I guess the other part of my haul, and I did not get it out, but it's just fabric, was a piece of sandcastle jobelin, and it came really different. I was kind of surprised, because the sandcastle that I'm used to, I mean, what it's been for, like, you know, I want to say since it came out, and I've had projects on it. I have a lot of projects on it because it's my favorite. It looks kind of like this. Now, I don't know if the computer is picking that up correctly, but it's kind of a pale, warmish tan, which would be the darker areas. And then the background is almost like platinum linen, and platinum linen is my favorite neutral, so it goes with everything, and I just love this fabric. But the new piece that I got, I had gotten it for Greek mandala because I wanted to start that one. However, it still looks like a sandcastle, but it looks like sandcastle on a different beach. Okay, shall we go with that? It has a lot more gray tone to it. Instead of the tan, the darker splotches are gray. So it's like platinum and gray together. And while it's a very good neutral, yet the colors of the Greek mandala just didn't work on it. It needs a warm kind of tone because there's so many blues and greens that they really bounce off of a warm colored fabric, and they just kind of fade into a cool toned fabric. So I'll have to go digging through my stuff and see. But yeah, it was pre-ordered and it finally came in, so it's like, oh yeah, I get to start it. But then it looked really different, but still pretty, but just not what I needed it for. But I'm thinking that since it's already such a big piece and a big neutral piece, there'll be a chatelaine that'll work for it. I know there will be. I just ain't got one kitted up that'll work for it yet, so it'll be in reserve. This weekend, or this past weekend, today's Tuesday, the project that won the draw was Egyptian mandala by Chatelaine, and the areas that I worked on were this green along here. It's like where these plants start, this like mossy kind of green here. I got that done all the way around, and then the dark purple up in those flowers. So really, I love working on these. They're just so, I don't know how to explain. It's like, you know, kind of like Uncle Scrooge in his money bin or whatever. It's like, ooh, you know, I feel like my precious and all that stuff. Just because they're, you know, silk and stuff. At least when you're working with the silk, I do a lot of working with the DMC conversion of it, but still, it's chatelaine, so it's a big deal. To me, anyway. And that's pretty much how October ended up and how November has started. What's coming up next, I don't know, because November is kind of getting down to the wire for Christmas stuff, so that's kind of gonna shift the priorities of my spare time, because I've still got a lot of ornaments, and in fact I got all of that to start, so yeah, between Christmas and harvest and taking people to the city for their doctor appointments, it's just going to be nuts. And what do? You just keep riding on through. For Christmas Day or the holiday season or whatever, it just depends on how it's going to work out. I'm hoping to start something special, and Marie knows what I'm talking about, but we'll see what happens. It hasn't been decided what it's going to be, but it would be fun to start something Christmassy on Christmas. And you know, I have some projects in my stash that have been waiting for a long time, and others that I'm just still wishing for, but it would be kind of fun to kind of dedicate December into kind of a winter Stitch-a-palooza or something, where, you know, all of December is just kind of dedicated to holiday fun and wintry looking projects. The trouble is, Christmas is also in there, and we live in the real world, and who has a lot of spare time during Christmas? Which is kind of why Guilt-Free January was like perfection, because holidays were over and you had a lot of time for everything else. So yeah, I ain't really nailed down what my December's gonna have. I know November's gonna be nuts, and I'm just gonna be happy with whatever progress I get. But it would be nice to, you know, plan ahead and figure something out fun for December. So my regrets, I don't have any shout outs for this round. I just haven't had time to watch anybody on YouTube lately. But this weekend, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be getting harvest done, and that will free up everybody's time, and it'll be, yay, great. And yeah, hopefully then there'll be a little more time for all the goofing off that I want to do. And if I'm going to be getting things done for Christmas, that should hopefully afford me some time too. So we just got to get through harvest, and then yeah, and then hopefully we will have a few weeks off before the goats start having their babies, and then the sheep start having theirs, and the cattle again, and we're just gonna start all over again. But yeah, we're expecting little baby goats right around Christmas time into January, so yeah, it's kind of hard to trump baby goat, just because they are the cutest little things ever. But they're very naughty. I mean, they pick on their moms. They're naughty little things. I mean, yeah, they just are. Lambs are so innocent, but little goats just come out fighting. It's funny. So anyway, kitty update. I should probably give you guys a kitty update. Pixie is still in the house. She'll probably be spending winter in. The boys, they were in, but now it's been so much nicer that they've moved back out to the barn, so they play in the hay, and they were just, you know, one's 3 times her size, the other one's twice as big as her. And since it's been a lot warmer, we've just let them go back outside and, you know, get used to the barn and everything. So that's where they are. They still, you know, cry and say, well, we want noms. So they get their noms every night, and dry cat food, they just go help themselves out of the bag. Because that's what we do in the winter. We just have a bag out there, and whoever's hungry gets it. So they know where that is. So they're doing really well, but Pixie's still kind of little, and you know, her injury has healed. She had injured her leg. I had mentioned that a little while back. Her injury's healed, but she's still just got a lot of catching up to do. I think it set her back a while. But she'll get there. She's feisty, and yeah. She's doing a lot of playing now, especially with the puppy, Xena. She doesn't like to play with Bubba. Bubba is huge. Bubba is the Great Pyrenees puppy that we got this summer. And he's enormous. He's bigger than Roxy, and he's still a baby, so yeah. Bubba might need his saddle, you know, when my other horses outgrow it. So that's kind of the update on the critters around here. Horses are doing good. They love the weather now. Horses don't like hot and humid, but boy did they like fall and winter, because they just run around and don't get all sweaty and stuff. So they love this time of year. And that's pretty much all that's been going on. Nothing too exciting, just a lot of work and a lot of running. But you do what you have to do, right? So I want to thank you all for watching. I won't keep you any longer. I'm just rattling away now. But thank you so much for watching and for the kind words. If I don't happen to catch your comments right away, rest assured, when I do have a spare moment, that's one of my priorities, is to get caught up on those and, you know, respond to you guys, because you were kind enough to take the time to write a comment. Well, I want to show you that I'm grateful for that. So keep on being wonderful to each other, because, you know, the world really needs it right now. And I think stitchers are going to be where you find it the most prominently. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope your day is kind to you, and blessings to you all. Thanks. Bye.